Let's move together. If you have the ball, we're going to take it and place it just in between the ankle bones with all 10 toes shining straight forward for parallel. Once you've got that set, we're going to just keep the sternum over the pubic bone. Hands can come to the hips, and we're going to lower into a plie. You can imagine that your back is sliding against a wall behind you as the knees soften, and that's an exhale, inhaling to return all the way to standing. Exhale as we soften the knees. Inhale as we lengthen, kneecaps absorb into the quadriceps. For additional challenge, the arms can come up and overhead, making sure we melt the shoulder blades down the back line of the body if you've chosen that option. The inner thighs spiral forward as our knees bend, and they spiral back as we extend back to the full extension. Hold this next one low, and here's the trick. Without shifting forward or closer to the sky, we're gonna peel both heels up. Now we're on the balls of our feet, not all the way on the tippy toes. Lengthen the legs, kneecaps absorb into quadriceps. We're on the balls of both feet. Heels melt down, and we're gonna repeat that. Soften the knees, peel the heels up, floating up into a tall standing position. Heels melt down, soften the knees, peel the heels up, lengthening up, melt the heels down, working in a circular pattern, not really stopping at any point or stalling out. We're just circling through the pattern, warming up the ankles, getting the core engaged to help float us up on that inhale. Last two, peel the heels up, lengthen up high, melt the heels down. Last one, softening the knees, heels lengthening up. Ooh, I'm wobbling all the way to standing, and melt the heels down, return to start. We're gonna keep that ball with us and lay onto our back, going into a crisscross on the right side only. So we're only gonna move one rotation direction. Lay down in the center of the mat. The ball goes behind the crook of the right knee. We're gonna float both legs up into tabletop position and interlace the hands behind the base of the skull, making sure we can see the elbows from the corners of our eyes and really lengthen the space between the navel and the pubic bone to keep that pelvis in neutral. All right, if you're looking for additional challenge, we're gonna extend that left leg long at a diagonal, keeping the right knee bent. Now we're gonna rotate the ribs on an inhale towards the right inner thigh, and then bring it back to start. Inhaling as we rotate, exhaling back to start. So this is not about the elbow and the knee tapping. This is about maintaining length on the body and really getting a deep rotation through the rib basket. The intention is to keep the shoulder blade up and off the floor as we rotate. That left shoulder blade comes up and off the floor, keeping lots of length in the body. Hold the next one in the rotation, or you can bring the head down if that's feeling aggressive. And now we are going to hinge at the hip. The bend of the knee does not change as the right foot taps the floor and comes back up. Oh, that burning sensation, that's your lateral psoas. You're welcome. Tapping down and bringing it back up. I like to smile, it makes me feel better when I'm dying. Bring it back into start. Last two. Last one, center the torso, bend both knees, remove the ball, and then we're gonna come on up. So we're gonna go into a 4-point kneel position. So that means we're gonna have our hands and knees down on the mat. If you have the ball, it goes between the knees and the hips. We have our hands just below our shoulders and our knees directly below the hips. Broadening the collarbones, lifting away from the mat. Now you can keep your knees down here, or for additional challenge, flip the toes under and hover the knees off the mat ankle height. We're gonna do a cat-cow, so let's start with our cat. We're gonna exhale as we round the spine like you have a hammock under your lowest ribs, drawing up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna inhale as we arc, extending through the upper back and gaze forward. Exhale as we round. Inhale as we gaze forward. We're going to do 4 total. This is 3. Exhale as you round. Inhaling to gaze forward. Collarbones go wide. Proud heart. Last time. Exhale, rounding and curling, lengthening through the neck as well. Inhaling as we gaze forward. If your knees are up, gently set them down. And let's go ahead and go into that crisscross on the other side. So we're going to come onto our back. The ball goes behind the crook of the left knee if you have it. That's gonna go into a tabletop position, neutral pelvis. And we're gonna float the right leg up to greet it. Interlace the hands behind the base of the skull. Really greet the weight of your head with your palms, and the elbows are visible via the corners of the eyes. Lengthen the navel away from the pubic bone. If you're up for it, right leg goes long, otherwise keep it where it is. And now the right ribs rotate towards the upper left inner thigh on an inhale. Exhale back to start. Inhale, elongate to rotate. Exhale to start. Find length on the left side of the waistline even as we spiral. Make sure we're not leading with the elbows. We want the ribs to lead the movement. Feel that fire it up a little bit more, my friends? All right. That's what we're after. Let's hold the next one in the rotation. So hold it here. And now we are going to hinge at the hip. The left foot lightly taps, the knee bend doesn't change, and we bring it back to start. Lengthening the left hip away from the shoulder. Let's do this last one. Bring the knee back to start. Rotate the torso to center. Right knee comes back to tabletop, head goes down, and let's take the ball out. From here, we're gonna lay onto our left side, and we're gonna do a double leg lift. For this exercise, we're gonna take our left ear, place it on our left biceps. The ball goes halfway between the knees and the hips, and the right hand is on the floor to help support our balance. Now check out that your pelvis is stacked, your shoulders are stacked, and the waistline is long on all sides. We don't wanna dump the bottom ribs into the floor. Stay organized, stay long. And now we're hovering the bottom leg up off the floor. It's a good time already. Okay, let's go ahead and open the front side of the ankles, and we're gonna reach those inner thighs so long that the legs float up 2 to 3 inches, and then we bring it back down, but we never touch all the way down to the ground. Lengthening up, and bring it back down. Notice the movement is about length, reaching the inner thighs, and it is not about going up to the sky. Lengthen as you reach. I'm about to fall flat on my face. Anyone else? Okay, good, perfect. We can do it together. Lengthening as you reach, really balance, 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 extending both sides of the waistline. Last two, and we're gonna make it even more fun. Ready? Last one. Hold, hover just above the floor. The thighs are not going to change their orientation. We're gonna fold the knees wide and then extend the legs back. It doesn't have to reach all the way back to a 90, but we want the knees to stay in line with the hips, and that's gonna open the front line of the body as we activate through the glutes and hamstrings and send it back. You can see that Rendel's bending only the top leg to help support her balance. So do what works best for you today. Elongating all sides of the waistline. Last two, and then we have one more item of fun here. Last one, and go ahead and bring the knees forward into about a 45-degree angle. Once you're here, we're still laying on our side. Make sure you don't imprint down the left waistline. Keep the knees stacked, but we're gonna reach the right leg long or keep it bent, just like Rendel is showing us. Think about that neutral pelvis, long waistline, and without pressing down on the ball at all, we're gonna swivel the inner thigh forward, and then we're going to swivel it backward. So we're going from external to internal rotation and using that ball as our guide to keep our leg level and keep that rotation really clean. Do you feel that happening, Kate, with that ball as your guide? And when we have the knee bent like Rendel is showing us, it's not about only making that easier. That's never what I'm after. It's about supporting a neutral pelvis. And what's happening when we shorten that lever is she's actually using her local muscles, the deep abdominals and the opposite waistline and the diagonal sling, more than when we have the leg extended. So your first time through the series, you might try it with the bent leg. The second time through, you might try the straight leg. Either way, you're gonna get an amazing amount of work and focus. All right, let's do one more. We're gonna go into a plank. Last one, and go ahead and take that ball away, but we're still gonna use it. We're gonna take our ball halfway between the knees and the hips again. On the plank, we're gonna go into our forearms, and you can come onto your knees for a hold or your toes for knee taps. So we're gonna lengthen our body into the best diagonal line we have. Palms are flat, lift away from the elbows, collarbones are wide, and then we hold everything else quiet As the knees soften, crease at the hips, tailbone reaches long, tap the floor, and then extend all the way out. Exhale as you tap the floor. Inhale, extend all the way out. Keeping the glutes not gripped, keeping the heels reaching long from the crown of the head. We're going to go into our long bridges next. Try not to mash on that ball. Guilty as charged. Last 3. Last 2. Tap the knees down and go ahead and rise up and out of that plank position. If you have the ball, we're going to set it aside and we're going to go into a long bridge. So we're going to flip over onto our hands or onto your forearms and elbows. If you're on your hands, they're coming off the mat in a little bit of a turnout. And we have our heels touching, toes turned out, feet are in first position. From here, we're going to inhale as we reach the toes long from the crown of the head and hinge up into a long bridge. Let's hold here and check out what's happening with our posture. Are you finding that you're hanging in those shoulder joints? That's not what we're after. Really find that strong postural line, lift away from the floor, broaden the collarbones, and send breath in between those shoulder blades so they don't pinch together. All right, here we go. We're going to exhale, keeping the tailbone reaching long, 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 long. We're going to crease at the hips, tap the tailbone to the floor, and then we're going to lengthen inner thighs, spiral up. Exhale, crease at the hips. Inhale as you lengthen. You should have a soft nod to the chin, keeping the neck in line with the spine. Exhale to tap. Inhale as we elongate and reach up, lifting away from the floor. That's the toughest part for me, is to not start to sink down towards the floor. Hold the next one up. We can either hold here for the challenge, or Kate and I are going to show you 4 lifts with the right leg. 4, keep the pelvis quiet. Tap the floor. 3, tap the floor. 2, last 1. Good news, left side. Left leg floats up. You can take little breaks as needed. Last 3, lift, lift, lift off the floor. Last 2, last 1, hinge at the hips and bring it all the way down. All right, let's stand up, shall we? We're going to go into what I like to call a curtsy lunge. So we're going to come to our mat. We're in a turned out position with our feet. Heels are touching, toes are turned out. And we're going to keep the right leg where it is. Now, here's what we need to do for the setup is take the left leg and cross it behind the midline of the body. So can you see that? The upper inner thighs are crossed, but we don't want to let our pelvis track with that rotation. So square up the hips, they're shining straight forward. Upper inner thighs are narrow and the waistline is long. Now we're going to soften both knees at the same time, keeping the torso upright. Exhale as the inner thighs spiral outbound. Check in with your pelvis, make sure it's still level. Inhale, the waistline lifts off of the pelvis and the inner thighs narrow to bring you all the way up. You feel that inner thigh connection? Awesome. Exhaling as we lower down, sits bones broaden. Inhale as we narrow, and the sits bones narrow while we stand up. You can add the arms out to the side for additional challenge. And we really want to focus on the waistline staying level. It's real easy to let that right hip hike up and shorten the space between the ribs and the pelvis. So really try to keep that long on all sides. Exhaling as the inner thighs swivel forward. Inhaling, think about the upper inner thighs magnetizing or narrowing like a pair of tweezers. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Let's do 2 more. On this next one, only bend the right leg a tiny, tiny bit so we're still pretty upright and the left leg is completely long. Now we're gonna go into a fascial floss. So that means the left leg, the back leg, is gonna do a micro bend and a micro extend. The heel does not move, the pelvis does not change. So what we're doing is lubricating the fascia, which is the network of fibers that hold the bones, tissue, skin, and muscles together. We want to keep it lubricated and healthy to improve the overall wellness and functionality of our joints and our bodies. So we're doing that little bend, little extend. It feels pretty trembly, pretty straight away. Keep that heel really quiet. It's going to want to cheat for you. So keep that heel really quiet. Last 2. And bring that leg long and come all the way out. We're gonna go into some archetypal squats. So what that means is we're gonna step into a wide second position, bring your hands into prayer at the center of your chest, and we're gonna lower as low as you can, that's different for everyone, all the way into the deepest squat you can manage. And right here, I have my back pretty upright and my sits bones broad, inner thighs are spiraling forward and a very deep crease to the hips. Now we're gonna inhale, narrow through the pelvis, use the breath to bring you all the way up. Exhale, lowering again. You're gonna notice that Rendel is not lowering that far down, or as far down, I should say, as we are, and that's fine. Do what works for you today. Where you are today works for me. Inhale as we float all the way up. I'm gonna have Kate show us the next one with her heels on the rise. So if your ankles are still working on building flexibility, you can have the heels a bit on the rise and simply aim to melt them lower to the floor every time. Inhale as we narrow through the hips, bring it up. This is the last one. Exhaling as we lower down. Think about the elbows imprinting away from the center line of the body. For 4, lengthen the crown of the head away from the tailbone, open the heart, and inhale. Woo, come all the way up. Let's get that curtsy lunge taken care of on the other side. Come into first position with the feet, heels touching, toes turned out. We're gonna keep the left leg where it is, and with intention, cross the right leg behind the midline of the body, but don't let the pelvis follow. The pelvis swivels forward, both knees bend to start with. Exhaling as we lower, pelvis stays level. Inhaling as you narrow the upper inner thighs to raise. Exhale, sits bones broaden as the inner thighs spiral forward. Inhale, the breath is lifting you back to standing as we narrow the inner thighs, helping us to access the deep abdominals even when we're doing a lunge. So we're working head to toe the whole time. You always have the option to bring the arms up and overhead, out to the side, or down on your hips. Exhaling down, inhaling up. If this is a balance challenge for you, you can always find the back of a chair or a countertop nearby to help support your balance while you work. Let's do 2 more. Watching that left knee stays aligned, big toe, second toe, and doesn't go out over the pinky toe. Come all the way up, upper inner thighs are magnetized. Now just the left leg is gonna bend. It's a small bend, a shallow bend, torso stays upright, fascial flossing other side. So it's the micro bend, micro extend, micro bend, micro extend. So much shake. Isn't that beautiful? So that shake is what we're after. You can see that Rendel's heel is not moving, her hip is not moving, and it's that micro bend, that trembling is really important to overall health and wellness as well as functionality. Let's do 2 more because we're having such a good time. Love it. Yes. All the way long and step that right foot forward to come out of there. Okay, so next we're gonna go into our supine roll down. Just one of them. That sounds pretty good, right? That's promising. They know me better than that. Okay, we're gonna take that ball. If you have it, place it halfway between the knees and the hips. Legs go long in front of you. Sitting tall on our sitting bones in our best L sit. Arms come long in front of us. Plug the arms into the back line of the body. As if you had a puppet string on the crown of the head, reach long and hinge. Find that connection to the deep abdominals. And now we're gonna roll the tailbone under, roll the low back, roll the mid back, hold, hey, surprise. And now we are going to do a little curl from under the lowest rib. Think about lengthening as we do this. Take breaks whenever you need to. We've got 6 more. Last 5, plug the arms in. Last 4, try not to squeeze the life out of that ball if you have one. Last 3. Last 2, we're gonna lay on our side next. Last 1, oh, come all the way down. All right, so we're gonna lay on our right side. Your right ear goes onto your right biceps. Knees are gonna be bent in a 45-degree angle. We're gonna do this one in reverse, this little sequence in reverse. So knees are bent at a 45-degree angle, knees are stacked. You can choose to keep the left, the top knee bent, or you can extend it out, keeping the knees stacked. From here, we're using that ball as our guide. We're not mashing into it. Rotating external, that means the inner thigh swivels forward. And then we're gonna rotate that inner thigh back. So the ball is not being mashed. The ball is being used to track proper alignment for the pelvis, the knee, the hip, and the leg. Do you see how that holds it up and doesn't let it dip, Kate? Oh, good, it's so fun. Let's do a few more here. The intention comes from the top of the thigh bone, rolling through the pelvis, not from the foot twisting. Your foot should be in line with the ankle, not doing its own thing. Last two. We're gonna go into those really fun knee bends next. No one else thinks it's fun, just me? All right, parallel out that leg. We're gonna bring the knees in line with the hips, so straight away it's a balance challenge. Let's start with long legs. The left hand is on the floor for balance support. Open the front side of the ankles. We're stacked on the bone on the bottom side of that right hip. Reach the left hip long, long, long to extend the waistline both sides. Exhale as we bend. Wow, so wobbly. Inhale as you extend. It does not need to come to 90, but the goal is to keep the knees in line with the hips, so we're opening the front side of the hips as we work. It's wobbly for me too. You see my bottom toes just touch down? So we're reaching the knees long, long, long away from the crown of the head as we fold. Isn't that delicious? And we're getting a really nice activation through the back line of the body while we find that stretch. Inhaling, reaching long. Exhaling as we crease at the back side of the knees, totally irrelevant how far they bend. Let's hold the next one long, and we're gonna do that double leg lift. So what we do is lengthen the inner thighs beyond the toes, and that is what floats the legs, hovers them up. So we're never setting that bottom leg down, unless you need a break, go for it. But if you're still working, we wanna keep the legs up. We wanna keep the ball with a light hold rather than with a mashing sensation. And we're gonna reach the inner thighs long as we're working. What's happening with your bottom ribs? Have they dumped onto the floor? Get them off of there. Think about breathing space in between the ribs on the bottom. Last three. Last two. Last one. And bring it all the way down with control. Keep the ball if you have it. We're gonna flip over and we're gonna go right onto our downhill ski. So let's keep the hands at the top of the mat. And we're gonna step the feet behind us. Lengthen the body out into your best plank position. So we have a diagonal line from the toes all the way through the crown of the head. Downhill ski means we're gonna rotate the pelvis as the knees bend and we do a weight shift back. Then we come back to the plank on an inhale and then we're gonna take the other direction. So now we're tipping to the right, the knees and the pelvis rotate. Inhale, come back to your long plank. Exhale, swivel. Inhale, plank. Let's pick up the pace. Exhale, swivel. Inhale, plank. Keeping lots of length, keeping collarbones wide, really deeply creasing at the hips and at the knees as we work in that rotation. Last four. Four. It only counts if we go both directions. Last three. Three. Pelvis narrows when we go long. Pelvis broadens when we go into the bend. That was two. I didn't lose count. Last one to the right. Oh, last one to the left. Bring it to your plank. Hold for smiles. Collarbones wide. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. 3, 2, with control. Knees come down. All right, let's go into our lunge. We're going to step to the top of our mat with the ball if you have it. Stepping to the top of the mat, we're going to have our feet 4 inches apart and parallel. Take the ball in between the hands, almost as if you could peel it apart, so you feel that activation between the shoulder blades. Keeping the right foot where it is, we're going to take a nice step back with the left leg. Torso stays upright, and we're going to do 8 lunges all the way down, all the way up. Both knees bend. Exhale as we lower. Inhale as we float back to top with 2 straight legs at the top. Exhaling, right knee comes in front of that ankle crease. Inhale as we float up. Exhaling down, this is 3. Keep the pelvis level. Imprinting the entire sole of the foot into the ground. Lengthening the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Last 2. Are you still peeling that ball apart, or did we forget that part? Good girl. Hold this next one down. 8 times, heel peel. So the right heel peels up and imprints back down. The inner thigh is inviting that heel off the floor. If you need balance support, simply touch onto a chair, or you can simply keep the foot down and just hold. Peeling and lowering, keeping that right hip quiet. Beautiful. Last 2. Last one, set the heel down, keeping that ball, keeping the torso upright. 8 rotations to the right. Inhale, rib basket rotates. Exhale back to center. Lengthening as we rotate. Get that right hip reaching back, right knee reaching forward. Last 4. Exhale as you narrow the corset back to center. Last 2. We're going to go into a plie next. And with control, center it out and rise all the way to standing. All right, let's go into that second position plie. So we're going to open into an external rotation. Toes are turned out, but look at those toes and make sure that we didn't go too wide. You're going to go into a diagonal line where we're in a really reasonable range of movement. We're going to use the ball to come up and overhead with our side bends. So let's lower into one plie. You know, that's always bad news when I say there's only one. We're going to lower into one plie. Go ahead with bent elbows, very important because we don't want to be here. With a good bend to your elbows. Again, can you feel like that ball is being peeled apart? Shoulder blades melt down the spine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the ball into the right hand as we arc. Follow that ball with your gaze. And then we're going to look up and overhead as we bring it into the left hand. And then we arc as we follow the ball with the gaze. Up and over. Back to the right. Doesn't have to be a big bend to the side. Up and over. Lengthening all sides. Inner thighs are spiraling forward. Melting the shoulder blades down as we're working. Last time to the right. Up and over. Last time to the left. Bring it to center with intention. Think about peeling that ball apart as we come back to chest height. And let's take care of that lunge on the other side. Come on up. Okay, 8 times, right? 8 times, we got this. Feet are 4 inches apart, parallel. The ball is really not going to survive this one. We're going to think about peeling it apart. The left leg stays where it is. We take a nice step back with the right leg. Torso stays upright. Here we go. Exhale as we scissor the upper inner thighs to lower. Inhale as we narrow through the pelvis to raise. 2 straight legs at the top. Exhaling down. Inhaling as we raise. Collarbones are wide. Sternum is over the pubic bone. That left knee creeps in front of the ankle crease to allow for that proper bone rhythm. Inhaling to raise, exhale as we lower. Beautiful, keeping that left hip reaching back rather than allowing it to track forward while we lower. Beautiful, let's do one more. We're gonna go into that heel peel. Hold the next one down. Now that left inner thigh peels off the floor, keeping that big toe, second toe connection. And that's how we find the inner thigh and the stabilizers for that knee joint. So good. Got it? Got it, girl. We're keeping the pelvis quiet, sternum over the pubic bone. We've got 2 more. And let's imprint the heel down. Now we're gonna do that rotation. The pelvis stays quiet as the rib basket rotates to the left 8 times. That's it, you got it, you got it. Notice that Rendel's keeping the pelvis really quiet. That's what we're after. I don't care how far you rotate, completely irrelevant. The rib basket is doing that rotation just like we started when we were on our back for that crisscross. The pelvis is not invited to move. The legs haven't changed position. It's an isometric challenge while we're going into that rotation. Inhaling, adding space between the vertebrae as we rotate. Exhaling, don't lose any of that space that you found. Last two, beautiful job. Taller, taller, taller with every breath. Last one. Back to center and with intention, straight legs step back to the top. Excellent. Set that ball away. And we're going to go into our rolling planks. So you can choose to do a plank hold on your forearm and your knees if this feels aggressive. And you can do a little tip to the pelvis. Kate and I are going to go all the way onto one hand. So we have our feet 4 inches apart and parallel, hands below the shoulders. Straight away, we're going to tip the heels to the right, tip the pelvis to the right, and come up onto our right hand. We're kind of in a twisted plank. Bring 2 hands through the center, tip the heels, tip the pelvis, right arm reaches up, and bring it back to center. Left hand lengthening as we work. Back through center, find that diagonal. Right arm reaches up. Back through center, tip the heels, tip the pelvis, lengthening. Back through center, tip the heels and the pelvis. Let's go last time to the right. Rotating as we work. Last time through the center, hold in the plank for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and bring the knees down. All right, let's go into our single leg reaches. So we're gonna lay on our backs. You can interlace the hands beneath the base of the skull or keep your head down on the mat with your arms long. Either way works for me. Let's float the right knee up into tabletop position. Let's ask the left knee to join it. And we're going to extend one leg at a time. So let's start with the right leg. We have a neutral spine the whole time. The right leg reaches long, left leg is bent, and fold it back in. Left leg goes long, right leg is bent, and fold it back to start. Keep working, extending and bending. Notice that the waistline stays long. The low back is not pressing into the floor. The hips are quiet. And if you've got that added challenge, if you've picked up your head off the floor, it shouldn't have shortened the front line of the body at all. Keep as much length and space as you can while we work. Let's do 2 more each side. Here we go. Last one on the right. Last one on the left. Bring it in, and both feet come to the floor. Come up onto your seat. Make sure you're centered in the mat because we need padding behind us. We're going to go into rolling like a ball, and then we stretch. We're already there. That was fast. So we're going to take our hands outside of our calves, and you can hold onto your ankles, or if it's better for you, you can hold onto the tops of your feet. Keeping our big toes together, we're going to balance on the tailbone. All right, we're going to try to do this in unison. Don't count on it. But what we want to do is make sure we stay off of our neck. So stop at the shoulders as you roll back. On the inhale, rolling back. Here we go, rolling. On the exhale, come back up, and we're aiming to balance on the tailbone. We did it. Inhale as you roll back. Now do it at your own pace. Exhale as you round up and try to hit that balance point. Inhale as we roll back. Exhale, come up and hit your balance point. Inhale, roll back. We're doing 8 total. Exhale, balance point. So good. Nice and long on the front body, even in the curled position. Last 3. Ooh. Last 2. We got this. Oh my gosh. I almost don't got this. And last 1. Come all the way up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and with control, set those feet back down. All right, you guys, we made it. It's time to stretch. We're gonna lay down on our back. Come into that butterfly position with the soles of your feet touching. Knees are open and wide. I'm holding onto my ankles. You can hold onto the tops of your feet or your shins if that works better for your body. And now we're going to keep the left leg folded where it is. I'm holding my left inner thigh as that left leg extends long. I'm sorry, right leg extends long. I don't have 2 left legs. I have my left leg folded and the right leg is long. Go ahead and fold that right leg in. The soles of the feet touch. I now have my right ankle in my hand. Left upper inner thigh as the leg extends and unfolds out to the side. Keep both sides of the hips down on the mat. Melt the shoulder blades down. Fold the left foot back into start. You can stay here, or if you're looking for a deeper stretch, you can keep the soles of the feet together, release your hands out to the sides of the mat, and allow the outside edges of your feet to touch the floor. If that doesn't feel great for your back, bring the feet right back up to where they were. Let's do a breath cycle here. We're going to inhale one more positive thought for your day. Exhaling tension. Hold on to that thought as you roll to your right side. Use your left hand to help you come up and off the floor. And congratulate yourself on the amazing work we just did together. Have a beautiful finish to your day.